Sup, you freaking nerds? This is goggle-wearing freak here. I'm here to give you another awesome freaking fan fiction reading today. Yay. Damn it. It was supposed to be good, but I'm here to give you another awesome fanfic reading today, and it is... as soon as I scratch my nose, it is the second chapter of Rika and Renamon, Termination by Gabriel-san. And where we last left off, Rika confessed her feelings to Renamon. No, Rika expressed that she was in a relationship with Renamon to her grandmother, and Rika's mother barged into the door and discovered Renamon, and just things were kind of going downhill from there. So here we are with the second chapter, One Simple Wish. Here we go. Or whatever time I can get this done, because I gotta get going in a little bit. Probably puts into 2 bits or whatever. Time crawled slowly in that house as Rika's mother, Mikino, lay sprawled out on the floor, still holding Renamon's love notes to Rika that she discovered in Rika's backpack. Rika, Renamon, and Rika's grandmother sat around in Rika's grandmother's room, making small talk and learning more about each other and the events of the last several months. After a while, none of them really noticed Mikino still laying on the floor. Jeez. Well, then again, it's like, well, she won't be awake for a little bit. Want to do something during the time? It's like, sure. And just do stuff to pass the time. Eventually, though, she did get up from her faint, and the others noticed her then. That was a very immature reaction of you, Mikino, fainting at the sight of your daughter's girlfriend. And that was... What? I'm getting confused. Fainting at the sight of your daughter's girlfriend. And what was that you were saying about finding notes in her backpack? I keep wanting to say book bag. Wait. Have you been searching Rika's? Have you been searching Rika's room? Grandma glared at Mikino, a withering gaze indeed. I was just checking in her room. Oh, I was just checking her room. Yes, checking. Snooping. What? She's been so cold and distant. Well, that's nothing new. She's Rika, for crying out loud. Just saying. She's been so cold and distant. I thought she'd be involved with something illegal. Technically their relationship isn't really illegal. But yeah, Rika's not doing anything illegal, jeez. I was looking for drugs, or booze, or weapons. I don't get the weapons part. What's wrong with just carrying a weapon, jeez. I was looking for drugs, or booze, or weapons. Something I could handle. Not love letters from some freakish... Not love letters from some freakish modern-day kitsune trying to steal my little girl. Dude, that's offensive. Well, the freakish part, not the kitsune. Kitsune means fox, if you don't know. And Kyubi means, like, if you know what Naruto is, you'll know. A fox with many tails. Mikino pointed a finger at Renamon, nearly touching her on the nose with her well-manicured nail. Oh, Mikino, grow up. You're such a child. I blame all that modeling. Honestly, a grown woman believing in something as childish as the kitsune. I don't really know, but I have to look back in the Japanese folklore stuff to find out, but What else would you call her, mother? Tempting my little girl with sex and power? Okay, you're just crossing the line there, jeez. I have never tempted her with power, Renamon interjected. And what makes you think I need you... And what makes you think I need... Gotta slow down. And what makes you think I need any tempting when I'm already in love? Rika added. You mean that you... Wait, you mean that you... with her? Mikino looked between... Mikino looks between Rika and Renamon and... Okay, gotta not doing so hot. Mikino looked between Rika and Renamon, panicked. For the love of all that is holy, don't faint. We've had enough of that already as it is. There's nothing wrong with it. We talked about a lot of things while you were out. It's amazing what goes on. Oh, it's amazing what goes on around us without our being aware. What? It's amazing what goes on around us without our being aware. What does that mean? Without being aware, or I don't know. Nothing wrong with it. Mother, this is your granddaughter you're talking about here. How can you just sit here and calmly talk with this thing? Okay, Renamon is not a thing, okay? You're just crossing the line of being just someone who's annoying to being a dick. Mikono, please. She is a Digimon. And her name is Renamon. Honestly, you're just so out of touch. Sounds like someone... She sounds like a teenager, like, seriously, mother, you're so out of touch. Jeez. Gosh. Just saying. Oh, crap, I have a little bit of time to just... I gotta at least get some of this done. So you're so out of touch. I think we should tell her about all this so she can get some clue. Sit down here with us, Mikono. You've got a lot to learn about the world, as all of us do, but someone who's especially sheltered into one thing has a lot to learn. Mikono looked around at the small group and slowly walked over to the table with them and sat down at it. Okay, exactly what is it that I should know? Well, Mother, you should know... Well, Mother, you should know what Renamon actually is. That is correct. I'm a Digimon, an artificial life program that's spread into the data stream of the internet and evolved into a variety of different types. That is very interesting. Digimon can emerge into the human world by synthesizing all the materials necessary to form a body and then place their data into it. That is kind of interesting when you think about it. I came into this world because Rika's strength and skill drew me. I wanted the greatest tamer in the entire world, and I wanted the greatest tamer in the entire world, and I knew that she was it. Let's see about Rika's grandmother's reaction. It's all so very fascinating. The internet is such an interesting thing. That is true, minus the porn. But yeah, it is pretty awesome. That's true, minus the porn and the trolls and the dicks and all that other stuff. And I'm not talking about the men genitalia, I'm talking about the actual people who are jerks. Then again, you guys know the internet. You're listening to this through the internet. For crying out loud. The internet is such an interesting thing. Computers all over the world connected to each other, so that people across the globe can share ideas, pictures, stories, anything. Ironically, my friend's mother, who was from the Netherlands, said something about that, and it is pretty awesome. It's like when you think about it like really long, it's like, oh my god, I'm talking to someone from a different country. It's kind of like mind explosion, man. It's like it's you don't really think about it until you like really think about it. Especially if time how time has changed throughout the years and how things have evolved and everything. It's pretty freaking epic. And it kind of shows you how where we are in this kind of day and age in more ways than one. And we can be connected and disconnected very easily. And all that good stuff, which I'll probably talk about later. Right now, I have to hurry and at least read some parts of this before I have to go. Where is it? To each other so that I can't... Okay. And flowing along with all that... Oh, and flowing along with all that are these remarkable creatures. It's amazing when you really think about it. That is true, and especially if Rika's grandmother, who was basically brought up, I'm going to guess probably, she was brought up in an era where there wasn't this kind of technology, and then throughout the years she saw this technology, she saw things increase, advance, evolve, and to how it is now. This is, I'm just saying. And the same thing with just, grandparents in general, and even our parents. And my mom kind of talks about it too. It's like, she says like, she says how things have evolved since she was a kid, from like black and white television to freaking hoverboards and all that stuff. She thought she wouldn't. Well, I don't know if it was me or her who said that, but I think it was her. She said she thought she wouldn't even be alive to see this stuff. It's like freaking mind explosion, man. It's awesome. Although I'm waiting for them to do a hover car, but yeah, it is awesome that they have all this stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't have met all these awesome people online. You guys know who you're talking about. You guys are awesome, and people in general. Grandma smiled. Oh, Grandma smiled a little and looked wistfully. For such a thing to happen in someone's life, and this is confusing. For such a thing to happen in someone's life, and to learn about it so clearly, simply good luck. True. Mikono looked hard at Renamon. Gotta slow down. Mikono looked hard at Renamon, angered at her. What is wrong with me today? Okay, Mikono looked hard at Renamon, angered at her placid sitting. What? Damn it. Placid sitting and calm voice. So you came to this world just to seduce my little girl? Oh, come on, woman. Why do you keep assuming that? At first our relationship was purely platonic. That's true. And then the fan base decided to make them a couple. Not that I'm complaining. They're a good couple to begin with. And especially the stories I've read, they're all awesome and cute. Except for that one where Rika wanted Renamon to eat her. That was freaking weird. And disturbing. But yeah, that was all weird. Where am I? Wait. Okay, platonic. No, it wasn't Renamon. Wait. No, it wasn't Renamon. It was worse than that. As ashamed as I am to say it, I was terrible. I treated her like a thing and not a living being. I forced her to fight to fulfill my own desires. I was proud when she won, proud of me. I was selfish, egotistical, and not to mention a bitch. That's not part of the story. I was just saying, from what I've heard. I didn't find her as a bitch. I just found her a bit cold-hearted and all that stuff, but Renamon placed a hand on her head, stroking it softly. Don't be so hard on yourself, heartbreaker. You couldn't have known. Rika shook her head a little. I admit it, I was terrible. Even when you finally digivolved for me. Digivolved? It's gonna be another whole story. That's when Digimon changes its form, becoming more powerful, Grandma answered. I paid very close attention to close attention to them while they were explaining. I like to think I'm still sharp even to pick up on new things, and that's a really good thing because most people nowadays aren't very sharp. Okay, I have enough time just to read this one paragraph. Even when she finally digivolved, I was proud of myself, but at that moment, I also felt something strange within me. She almost died trying to protect me, and my wanting her to live, my tender, warm emotions, and my acknowledgement of her actually being alive made her digivolve. It kind of makes sense. I also began to wonder about why she stayed so close to me. I was terrible to her. I was cold, harsh, and insensitive, and yet she stayed around. It never made any sense, but that sentiment touched me in a way I never realized because I started to fall in love with her, but I was afraid of getting close, afraid that she thought badly of me, afraid she would reject me. Oh, Rika. I mean, if you acknowledge that you are being this and you're trying to change that, then that's a different story. But if you're like, no, I'm not going to change, then expect for people to keep their distance. For someone who thought she was strong, I was afraid of a lot, but I shouldn't even be saying any of this. It was much, much worse for Renamon. She suffered because of my selfishness. Oh, Rika! Rika leaned against Renamon, who wrapped her arms around her. Take your hands off my daughter! Mikino screamed, reaching for the two of them. Oh, come on. Jeez. Mikino, enough. Be quiet and listen to them. This is important. If you really care for Rika as much as you say you do, then you should be willing to hear you should be willing to hear about the most important person in her life and how that came to be. Grandma would take no crap from her daughter this time. This is important. Oh, snap! I'll admit it, it was rather hard dealing with my heartbreakers, Renamon began. Why do you keep referring to her as heartbreaker? It's a cute term why do you keep referring to her as heartbreaker? Mikono asked. It's a cute term of endearment. I think it's rather lovely. Grandma commented. I have a little bit of time. How much time? As I was saying, it's a little hard dealing with my heartbreaker's coldness towards me. At first I thought that was how it was between humans, but then I discovered that it was not. I rationalized that it was all in the interest of making me digivolve, but once I did that, it didn't stop. If anything, it seemed to get worse. It seemed to get worse and worse. I felt as though I was doing something wrong. I felt unworthy. I kind of understand that feeling, actually. A little bit. Kinda. And very hurt. But in all that time, I never felt like saying anything or leaving her. I only left when she pushed me away, and even then I stayed close by. When she came to my aid against Harpymon and defended me at risk to her own life, I realized that deep down inside, she really cared about me. Maybe she even loved me. And as you can see, I was certainly right in that respect. Yeah, that's true. Renamon Renamon placed her head on Rika's and nuzzled it softly. So, how long have you been involved? Mikono, ashamed by her mother, was more docile now, but was clearly not happy. I think I'm going to stop it there for right now. And I'll pick this up at another date and time. See you guys in the next fanfiction.